Are you ready?
Yeah.
Well, good morning, everyone. And thank you for joining us here today. I am so pleased and honored, really, to be joined by my city family here. And that's what we are, a family. Sometimes a fighting family, but a family. From my colleagues who are here, and I know Councilmember Valenzuela and Vice Mayor Guerra would be here, but they are out of town, so we would have had not a Brown Act violation, but a clear joining of all of us, and of course our charter officers, our beloved city manager, my partner Howard Chan. Thank you so much. Suzanne Alcala, our great city attorney, Lachelle Dozier, our great housing leader, is here. We've got Mindy Cuppy, who lives through all what we live through every Tuesday night, and grateful to you. And John Colville, who done so many great things to help us launch our economic development initiatives. And Jorge Seguera, thank you for your oversight. Absolutely. And I'm joined as well by my council colleague. I just want to name them because they're all really, really important to me. Katie Maple, really off to such a great start. And same with Karina Talamantes. I mean, majority woman city council and tremendous energy. And the same with Lisa Kaplan and Sean Laloe. I mean, two fierce leaders. And Rick Jennings, coach, as they call him, just such a good man and a calming influence on the council and community. Mai Vang, my friend, who we're just working on so many great things together in South Sacramento, a great leader. And Jay Chenier came as well. You may remember him. My friend for, probably not, my friend for 30 years. I'm just so grateful for your friendship and that you are here. And to my staff in the audience here, thank you. I can't say enough about your public service and your dedication. And that's the same true of all of the people who work for the city, your true public servants, and to the broader community. I say the following, really on your behalf. I know the news is already out, but let me repeat it. I'm announcing today that I'm not going to run for a third term as mayor of Sacramento. And while the question may be, well, God, isn't that a painful decision? It's actually a very positive decision and a happy decision for me. There is a season for everything in life. And it's now the season for me to do other things that hopefully will help people, because that's what this is about. And that's what it is always about. The word that I feel in my heart is gratitude. I just have gratitude. It doesn't matter how hard it's been at times, and it has been hard. It doesn't matter that at times the role of mayor of a major Californian American city is unique in terms of the scrutiny and sometimes the criticism. I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I've had 6.5 years and will have another 1.5 years to be able to do everything to help our city, our beloved city, our wonderful city. This is a great city, and it is still an emerging and a changing city. We have been thinking a lot about this. They talk about how the United States of America is a young country, and it is less than 300 years old. The city of Sacramento is a young city, and I don't just mean since its time of incorporation. I mean really over the last 15 to 20 years. This city is changing, And it's moving forward, like it or not, as some would say. We're growing. And we're becoming a more cosmopolitan city. We're becoming a city of a more diverse economy, of more opportunity. We've always been a city of inclusion, but we're especially focused on inclusion for all neighborhoods and all people. It's a city that's focused on racial equity and on making sure that no one is left behind. And as we are growing and as we are changing, as we are emerging, as we are becoming, there are growing pains along the way. Why wouldn't there be? I mean, if we're 15 to 20 years old, we're sort of in adolescence in some ways. And that means what comes with that growth and that change is a lot of challenges along the way. But we are up to those challenges. Look at what we have lived through over these last couple of years. You know, I've been joking a little bit about how coincidentally, my times in leadership have sort of been fraught with difficulty. When I became pro tem of the Senate in 2009, the state budget ballooned, no cause and effect there, by the way, ballooned to historic, unprecedented levels. And my job was to help the state dig out of that over 6 long but productive years. Well, here at the city, who could have anticipated we would live through a worldwide pandemic, that we would have lived through a rightful racial reckoning, the death of Stephon Clark, the murder of George Floyd, the emergence of a new set of priorities and agendas that are necessary as we maintain all of what is already best about the city in terms of its core services and the way that we serve people. And so I have nothing but great feelings and hopes and beliefs for the future of this city. I want to say a word or two. And finally, I guess to summarize that point, and then I'm going to conclude. Somebody once said to me, and it's been so profound, and I hope that all of my colleagues take this in, that in life, and certainly in public service, you don't get to pick your time picks you. And the time has picked me, and it's picked all of us. And again, despite the challenges and the imperfections, let's just keep going and keep fighting for the people of Sacramento and for a better city. You know, last Tuesday night, this chamber was the scene of something very unpleasant. And it reminds me, while I have all these cameras trained on me, to say that we have to model the behavior that we want to see among others in our community. That aside from the bigots, who to me don't count, aside from the bigots, there are strongly held points of view in this community about the direction of our community, about the issues we take up week to week, and about what the city should or should not be doing and should or should not be doing better in order to address our very real challenges. And I hope we remember the timeless quote from Abraham Lincoln in his first inaugural address: "We are not enemies, but friends. Though passion may have strained, it must not break our bonds of affection." We are friends, with the exception of a few who hate. We are friends. All of us, we are friends. And those in the community who have different points of view on our city's future, you are our friends too. And we all must try harder to listen to one another, to be kinder to one another, to actually take one another's points of view in and try to think about and reflect upon how we can be better. I know I've learned a lot in this job. I've always been a progressive with a big heart, and yet in this period of George Floyd, I have to dig deeper. We all have to dig deeper. I do, as a middle-aged white man, dig deeper to really grasp and understand the pain of other people. And I urge that upon all of us as we go forward. And finally, I just want to state a message to young people who may have seen what happened last Tuesday night on the news, or who are disaffected for maybe good reasons from getting involved in government or politics or public service in any way. My message to you is get involved and get engaged. No matter how hard it is, no matter how painful it is sometimes, no matter how frustrating it can be with the pace of progress, you matter. You matter, and your engagement and involvement matters, because there are two kinds of people in the world, as I often say to young people. There are short-termers and long-timers. The short-termers are in it for a flash. They get excited about an issue or mad about an issue, and they then realize how hard it is to actually get something done. And maybe they have a setback or two and they decide that they're going to walk away. And they're not bad people, but they just choose to not have an impact. And then there are the long-termers, as a friend of mine once said, and those are the people who dedicate their lives to trying to help the human condition, try to help their city, try to help their community, try to help people. And they get the benefit of being able to look back over 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 3 decades, 4 decades, and look back and say, oh my, look at what I was able to be part of. Look at how I was able to help. Look at how far we've moved the issue that is so important to ensuring that everyone has a decent chance in life. I urge young people to be long-termers, just like the people I'm surrounded with here today, because it is worth it for all the frustrations and for some of the difficult Tuesday nights. Being mayor has been a joy. It's been a joy because there have been so many moments where I've seen the city's resilience, where I've seen people rise above, where we have accomplished great things, and where I've seen kindness in our community. Finally, this is not an epitaph. I got 18 months to go. And we got a lot of work to do. And I know that it may seem weird, but I intend to work even harder the next 18 months with all of you, because I want to leave in November of 2024 with this city fully rebounded from its crises, and having continued this arc of saying that in a modern growing city with its rich diversity and with the desperate need for more opportunity for all people, that if we can't do it all, we can do more of what we've always done better, and we can forge new opportunities to make sure that we're investing in inclusive economic development and housing and young people and all the above. It's a great city, and I've been proud to serve it and will continue to be proud to serve it for the next year and a half. Thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate it. Okay? Thank you. I don't know if I know you all want to hear from 12 speakers, but no, I don't know. We can, if anybody has questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Yes. What's next for me? Well, a year and a half of hard work. That's first. I don't know after that. I'm open to this will be the end of my local elected service, certainly. Am I open to potentially serving in public office again at the state level? Yes, but I have not made any of that decision. I actually want to at least try, and it's hard, to imagine living life a little bit differently, continuing to be engaged and to serve always. I'm not retiring, but I want to think about it. I love to mediate big conflicts. I have a passion for mental health in my own foundation. I've taught. I love to write. So I think anything's possible, but whatever it is, it'll be in service to our community and our state and society.
And Mayor, as you reflect on your 6.5 years as Sacramento Mayor, what do you want your legacy to be? And second question is, you still have a 1.5 years left. What's the top goal you would like to see through?
Sure.
I know homelessness is top of your agenda.
Yeah. Well, let me try. The legacy thing is a hard one because I'm not done yet. But I think I hope that that people recognize that together with the city team here, because I did nothing alone. I just get to sit in the middle there. But that I help lead the city calmly through multiple crises. And that even in the midst of these unprecedented challenges, we made great progress. We elevated the inclusive economic agenda in this city. We elevated it. We did more on affordable housing. We did more on homelessness than ever before, even though the problem obviously is still very serious. That we and that we completed a lot of initiatives and brought new companies and new industries. I mean, everything from Aggie Square to Centene to the emerging now CNU Hospital to the rail yards to the continuing belief that Sacramento is right for Major League Soccer, Never given up, even if we don't talk about it, a lot, to continuing to have a proactive economic development agenda, especially for our disadvantaged neighborhoods. Especially, when we start with 5 million Northgate, Del Paso Boulevard, and other places, we got to find ways over time to gain the tools to be able to do more, to invest more in young people and workforce development. And so the story's not yet completely written, and we got a lot to do. On the homeless front, we have an unprecedented partnership agreement with the County of Sacramento. And now it's making sure that it is implemented with the same passion that led to its formation. And there's going to be bumps along the road, but we have many more manufactured homes coming. We have more sites. We have a lot of things that are about to pop. And when they do, never as fast as any of us would like it to be, but when it pops, I think you're going to see some visible and tangible change in our city as we are helping more people.
Mayor, possible state office, are you considering a run for Attorney General?
Well, that might be the place because, but only if the current Attorney General vacates. If he runs for governor or for some other seat, that's a possibility. I was in the running for that appointment 1.5 years ago, and that didn't work out. But in a way, that was a blessing because I got to stay here and got to continue to work with my city family here. It is a family. These are incredible public servants, and it takes a lot. It takes a lot of digging deep, a lot of collaboration, a lot of principled compromise, and a lot of hard work to move positive agendas forward and help people. It's the nature of democracy too. People forget it's that, as Winston Churchill said, democracy is the worst form of government with the exception of every other form of government. And it's absolutely true that the system is actually designed to make things go slow. That's the way it's designed. And so the art is actually to find ways to work together to make good things happen, even with all those checks and balances. And we do that more often than not. And I will admit to you, not enough and not fast enough. I mean, I'm the worst, I'm the harshest judge of myself. And we all are. Never, you know, we should never be satisfied. Mm-mm. As long as there are people hurting out there, we should never be satisfied. We should always be driven to help the people who need and the communities that need the help the most, and to address the rightful pleas of the public, even those with sharply critical voices, to do more, to do better. That's what we'll do. And we'll, by the way, we'll do it the next 18 months. And whoever succeeds me and this group and the next group, we'll do it. And we'll continue to do it and maybe do it better. Because you know what? This is never about one individual. Never. The democracy is, we are bit players in a long historical drama, right? We do our best while we're here. And then we turn it over to somebody else and give them a chance. It's good. Well, I was going to wait 35 minutes after my press conference instead of 25 to make that decision. But I don't know at this point. I know that there are a lot of really good, talented people who have already announced and some who are going to announce, and that's great. I hope it's a large field. I think that would be great for Sacramento, and a campaign is a great chance for people to say how they would do it better, and to frame the issues, different philosophies, different intended directions, and then who's boss? It's the people. So they will get to decide that question. I'm not foreclosing that possibility, but not right now.
What do you think will be the biggest challenge for your successor?
Well, I would say to continue the arc that we have set collectively over the last 6.5 years, and to not go backwards, right? To make sure that we find that right balance between what I call old city and new city, to make sure if we don't provide the core services well, then we can't do anything else. So we have to do that. And it's not enough to just do that anymore. We have to do more. We have to invest directly in our communities. And so continuing that sometimes painful arc, but remember, we're in adolescence. It's 15 years. Continuing that arc is going to be the great opportunity for the next mayor and the next council. By the way, under the system, the mayor is 1 vote among 9. I really want to give credit to the city council here and the city management and all of the charter team here, because this is a team. I get more of the press, and I do get the privilege of being able to help set the agenda and to state and to push a direction. I think I've been pretty okay at it. But it's a team. It is. So I hope that the foundation that we've laid and that I've helped lay over the last 6.5 years continues and grows. And that is do the core things well and make sure we respect our city employees and our public employees by paying them what they deserve. Focusing on growing this economy in an inclusive way. Man, I'm so excited about that. Tourism, look at what's happening, on the weekends here and we have Measure N, where we're going to build an iconic regional youth sports complex in South Sacramento under the leadership of Mayor Pro Tem Vang. There's so many opportunities in all these districts by using that one economic tool. We need more. Continue to grow this economy in an inclusive way, inclusive of every neighborhood and every part of the city. And yes, make a bigger dent with the county and with our state partners on affordable housing and homelessness.
Do you have any comment on the passing of local businessman Chris?
Oh my God, I was so sick. I just was stunned and so sad. I saw Chris just a couple of weeks ago. Chris was a pioneer in one of the things that has become part of Sacramento's emerging story. And that is our food scene, our restaurant scene. And it's this guy just with this incredible brilliance and imagination. and Will, who was not a suit and tie guy, who created so much good in Sacramento, and to lose him in such a tragic way, I'm just very sad, and the community is very sad. He will be missed.
You touched on it just a bit, Mayor, but we know the measure are going to affect, that was an agreement between the county and the city. Talk to us
Yes.
about the relationship with the county moving forward in those conversations.
So the relationship itself is much better than it has ever been. I mean, we're in the room together grappling with these issues, when before it felt like we were grappling with them separately. So the relationship is a start. The partnership agreement is a more important start, because that is a legally binding agreement to have 10 encampment engagement teams out in our communities, 20 encampments a month. We've got to get to that, and we got to do that right. And then whatever it takes, that's the standard, and it's a legal standard. Whatever it takes to help people who are living on the streets off the streets, with whatever, and helping them with whatever underlying issues they have, whether it be mental health, physical health, substance abuse, housing, and all of that. And so it's all about the implementation and the delivery. It's all about urgency. It's all about showing the public, even if it's one discrete corridor at a time, that we can have a cleaner and safer city, and do so in a humane way. And we have a foundation. So now let's go after it.
On that topic, Mayor, yesterday, the county board of supervisors voted to give themselves a 37% pay increase. How can you reassure the citizens of Sacramento that their government is prioritizing the homeless person?
As much as I lean into every good question asked by the press, I think I might pass on that one. I know here in the city, we have an independent commission that determines whether or not our salaries go up or down, or in between. I know when I was in the legislature, same thing. Took a 17% pay cut at one point, and so you live with the good and with the raise, and you accept the other. It's different in the county, and I really am not going to judge it or make a comment on it. I know that all I care about is that we are focused on implementing that partnership agreement with great urgency, and that's what we're going to continue to push.
What happened in here Tuesday a few times.
Yes.
Incidents that this is following that, and has that been a difficult part of your job? Because obviously this was the first council meeting that become contentious.
Well, I wanted to do it here on purpose. And, we had planned this before Tuesday, so we didn't know that would happen. But I absolutely wanted to do this in the people's chambers, because I think it sends an important message that this is the people's chambers. Has the decorum of, or whatever you want to call it, over the course of the years affected me? You better believe it has. It's affected every one of us. I'd be lying if I told you no big deal. It's all fine. I would say we can all take any one thing, but it's a bit corrosive. And it's why, when I thought this morning about what I wanted to say, I wanted to try to uplift this idea that, aside from bigots, because I really do accept them, aside from bigots, there are deeply held legitimate feelings in this community about the direction of the city, and about what we should be prioritizing and doing better. And to everybody in that space, even with rough edges, it doesn't matter to me. We all have rough edges. I hope that we can see each other as friends, not as enemies, to paraphrase Lincoln, and that we try harder to work better with each other. We do it up here. You go, not always, but we do it here. There's strongly held beliefs that People have different points of view, got elected from different districts, have different backgrounds and even different ideologies here. That's a good thing. That actually can make for a better result, but it only makes for a better result if we work together. I've always tried to put it this way, and I have not always succeeded. So, because I've had my moments as well, as you have seen. I always say, be hard on the issues, but try to be easy on the people. Really. I mean, fighting's good. Disagreement is good. Elections are have a lot of sharp elbows. Politics has a lot of sharp elbows. That's all okay. But can we go a little bit easier on the people, on each other, in terms of how we talk to one another, how we work with one another? I think that is so important, that we try in these chambers, we try, and outside the chambers, to allow for hard-hitting, critical, but civil and respectful debates and conversations. And I'm not calling anyone out here in particular. It's not one size, not the other. I've seen it. I am accepting the bigots. But then, between left, center right, there are people with strong opinions. Let's just listen to one another. So let's try harder. We need that, because the democracy depends upon it. We can't have January 6th, 2021 throughout this country. It won't survive if we're not hard on the issues and easier on the people. Okay. Thank you all very, very much. I don't know if any colleague wants to, you don't have to. It's okay. They'll all stand for lengthy 90-minute interviews after this. I want to thank you. Thank you all for coming. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It was all good.
What do you mean?
We'll go this.
You're not done.
I'm not done. I ain't done with the hug.
Why did you pick